So I just finished The Traitors Season 4, Episode 6, and let's get into it. The murder. Reese made sense as the murder choice since everyone was already convinced that he was a faithful from the previous episode. It was a safe play for the traitors, and I'm not sure if they should have killed someone else though, because I feel like they could have used him longer and he was a safe murder basically, similar to Jesse. So they could have used him as a shield in the future. At breakfast, what really made at breakfast, what was really hilarious to me was seeing Fiona and Steven side by side next to each other wearing the pink clothes. And it was just hilarious to see because both traitors are being twinsies with their matching outfits. We also need to talk about Jade. I am so confused at this time. Like, she claimed that she's some sort of like gamer, she loves playing games like this, but you don't really see her do anything. She doesn't say anything, no strategy, nor no gameplay with anybody else. Like, she's very quiet, especially at the round tables. Like, she doesn't do anything. And I don't know if it's just the editing that's been done with her, like maybe production is saving her for later on in the game when she does something big. Because sometimes it's a sign when you don't see a contestant being shown at the beginning, it's because they have a lot at the end. And or another thing is like it seems like she feels very tired and defeated already because of all the accusations from Amanda, so she may have given up already. The episode's wall garden mission was very interesting. It was fun and but the real talking point here is the smoky mirror twist. It was good that they were able to like see who among themselves are like the favorites, the the one who people think are arrogant and stuff like that. But the smoky mirror is an amazing twist to find out it, basically a Q&A with the traitors. And however, what made me feel like it was useless was the fact that they s- Claudia said that the traitors can basically lie when they get asked something. So for me, it's like, well, why would the traitors say the truth? And at the same time, if the faithful know that the traitors can lie, why would they ever think that they were telling the truth? It seems like at no point at, in that Q&A that anybody would be telling the truth or accepting that something's a truth at that point. For me, Harriet proves to be one of the smartest faithfuls in the history of the English-speaking traitors. I haven't really watched the non-English speaking traitors, so I can't say for the other ones, but I feel like for the English ones, she has been the smartest one, and her background as a crime writer and a former barrister really puts her like sets herself apart because of that, and having her crime writer skills and be able to take part in the Q&A with the traitors would have been awesome if the traitors were required to tell the truth. Because I would really be interested to see what kind of questions she would ask. Even when they were discussing inside the mansion, Harriet already said that the questions would be kind of useless because at that point they can just lie. The round table was so chaotic. I know Jesse is the one who keeps bringing up the Ben theory about someone in that room being a traitor. What I find very interesting though is that everyone just basically have accepted that Jesse is 100% faithful. Whereas technically speaking, everyone should be questioning everyone in that room, including Jesse. Like nobody seems to think Jesse could be a traitor when she in fact is also in that room. If Jessie was a traitor, it is actually a smart tactic for her to cast suspicion on everyone else in the room except herself. And it is a great double bluff because it makes people think that would she actually do that and cast so much suspicion on herself and cast a spotlight and and that's exactly what she's been doing. Basically, like throwing shade at everyone else in that room, and no one thinks Oh, why can't it be you? You were also in that room. Stephen got so lucky because of the whole fiasco between Fiona and Rachel. If people really analyzed his actions at the round table, it is actually quite suspicious. First off, he voted against someone he said he was closest to, which is Fiona. And then, just when the discussion was kind of moving away from the Fiona and Rachel debacle, like people were bringing up Sam again and Jade, and then Stephen redirected it back to Fiona to to basically end the roundtable discussions. And that's why I feel like everyone closed the loop with Fiona in mind because Stephen basically pointed it back at her. And and honestly, like I was kind of a fan of Fiona at the beginning, and I was really rooting for her. But at this episode and towards the end of the previous episode, it made sense for her to go. Like she was on a downward spiral, and her voting for Sam at the last minute makes no sense at all. I mean, she claimed she was being nice to Rachel at that point, but I'm not sure. Like maybe she was trying to do her a favor in case there was a tie and hers would be a deciding vote and she didn't want Rachel to go. But that random vote can raise suspicion on what happened and why she did it that way. Because people would ask like why would you do that? Like after that big fight with Rachel and you accusing her as traitor, then you randomly chose Sam. Like you one would come to a conclusion that maybe you're protecting a fellow traitor, specifically the person you were having that whole fiasco with. And I feel like that's why Harriet is so smart because she clocked in on that, like that it's a traitor on traitor kind of thing. The absolute highlight for me was Matthew. I honestly found him very forgettable. I don't even remember really thinking much of him as a contestant. Like, I don't remember what he does during the episodes, but what he did at the end, sealed the deal for me. Now I will remember him because he made a huge Hail Mary play that I didn't expect. It was awesome. I never expected the Q&A session could be used that way, and what a strategy that he did. I cannot wait to see how the traders respond to that in the next episode. It's a great cliffhanger that they ended that way. And it was, yeah, I was impressed. And I'm very curious to see how the other faithfuls, especially Harriet, would do in that Q&A session. So let me know what you thought of this episode in the comments, and I'm trying to do this thing where I'm just completely talking and like we're having a conversation, so I'm not even really going to be editing all the mistakes that I did. For me, it's also a learning process to like speak better and convey my thoughts better as well. And yeah, happy backstabbing, and I'll see you on the next episode.